Hey everyone, how's it going? This will be the first video of a new series where I'll do some questions and answers. In this video, we're going to talk about the different roles in the world of data. What is a data engineer, data analyst, and a data scientist? Many companies actually uses this different naming quite broadly. You actually have to read into the job description to get a sense of what this job role actually is. I was once hired as a data engineer and it was actually really misleading when I put it down on the resume. When job recruiters connect with me on job opportunities, and they come to realize that I wasn't actually a data engineer. So it resulted in a waste of time and getting connected with the wrong job opportunities. So it is actually really important to understand what these different job roles actually is. However, the job title is not entirely wrong either. Every job role has elements of the different roles. Especially when you're working in smaller teams, most of the time you are every single role. Now let's take a look at the different role and see what makes them actually different. If you have looked online, you've probably seen variation of charts like this. There's actually no one clear definition, but I think this Venn diagram gives a pretty good overview of the different roles. This Venn diagram is split into three main categories. We have the math, stats, algorithm, programming, and business knowledge. And from the Venn diagram, you can see where these different roles intersect. Data engineering is mainly a mix of algorithm and programming. For a data analyst, it's a mix of math, stats, and business knowledge. And for data scientists, it is a mix of everything. This gives us a general overview of the three roles at a glance. Let's break this down further into the depth of each category required for this individual role. As you can see, data scientist requires the max level of everything. But this doesn't mean that the data scientist is the most skilled. Every single role has expertise in their own domain. We can expand this list down to a few other data skills as well. We have data visualization, communication, and data exploration. As a data engineer, the requirements for these three roles are relatively low, whereas for a data analyst, we need high proficiency in these three skills, and as a data scientist, not so much on visualization, and communication is somewhat important, and data exploration is very important. In this list, communication refers more to communication with business users. Communication with the team is always important, regardless of whatever role you are. To get a sense of this better, let's do a deeper dive into the specific roles and skills required for each of the roles. As a data engineer, you're someone that engineers the data, someone that builds the pipeline of the data. This will involve understanding the system, how the data flows from the start to the end user. This will also involve maintaining the data and making sure that the data from the upstream to the downstream are accurate and up to date. To do this, you will need key skills on data pipeline, understanding system architecture. And these are some of the examples of the tools you will need to know. This is not an extensive list, of course. It really depends on what is the technology stack that the company uses. Some examples of programming languages are like Python and SQL, where they are used to query and build workflow of the data pipeline. There are also big data systems like Hadoop and Spark, which is used to process and store the data. And for ETL, there is Airflow, which helps to deploy the pipeline. And as a data analyst, the main role is to analyze and understand the business requirements and understand what is in the data. How can we bring the data to fulfill the business requirements? And these outcomes will be presented in the form of visualizations and reports. And of course, this makes skills like data visualizations very important as a data analyst, and also understanding what is the business about. And these are some of the key tools that a data analyst should know. SQL or Python to query the data from databases into BI tools like Tableau or Power BI. And I have also listed Excel as one of a BI tool. It is probably one of the first things that you should master. Excel is a very basic tool, which I think most users will understand how to use. So it serves as a tool to help you communicate with your business users, to help them understand what goes down in the calculation. For non-technical people, Excel is something more transparent and they can understand. And when you are on smaller teams, you are probably going to use Excel a lot for data transformation, data cleaning, creating charts. Everything will be done on Excel. And as a data scientist, your role will be to develop models and build advanced automated analytics. Very much similar to a scientist, where you perform experiments and find solutions from these experiments. In the data sense, this is taking the data, putting them to test, and building things like machine learning, artificial intelligence. To do all this, statistics would be one of the critical skills to understand how to build models. You also need knowledge of machine learning algorithm, things like regression, random forest, what is supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Some of the key tools are programming languages like Python or R, where there are packages to do statistical analysis and train your data model to build your machine learning solution. And you may also need to use big data ecosystem to run and process your models. This summarizes what a data engineer, a data analyst, and a data scientist is. If you like a copy of this, you can find it in the link in the description down below. Do like and subscribe to follow me on my data journey, where I will share more of my knowledge and experience. If there are any questions that you're interested to discuss, do leave down in the comments below. And see you next time.